Kasey and Steve then still with us to cast their eye on what went on regarding the US internationals over the weekend. We'll start, unfortunately, with bad news. Christian Pulisic, of course, pulling out of the Chelsea starting 11 before kickoff in their game. Suggestions he could be out for 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. Kasey, this is unfortunately becoming too regular for the youngster.
Yeah, it is, and it's a shame because obviously we know what a great talent that Christian is, and he's shown that in the time that he's been able to stay fit for Chelsea. Obviously, he did great for Dortmund. He got the big move, and then some managerial changes, and he had to really impress Frank Lampard. And then when he had the opportunity, he's done fantastically well. The problem is it's just been two stop-start because of the injury issues. He's building back into fitness. And then he kind of slipped in warm-ups, and you saw the frustration as he was walking off the field. And yeah, I'm sure nobody feels worse than Christian that he just hasn't been able to continue the good work that he started at Chelsea. And we just all hope that he gets fit and then gets a great run in the side and continues to show just what a talent he is. And
the frustrating thing, obviously, see, it's such a competitive environment given the signings that Chelsea have made and the number of options that they had. You want to continue to be banging on the door. And I imagine as a young player, there isn't much more of a frustrating thing to happen to you to have these continuous little niggly injuries.
Not only that, frustrating to the player, but also frustrating to the coach. And I think for any coach, and from the coach's perspective, you need players who can contribute consistently to your offensive game. And Christian, there are no questions behind his abilities and his ability to contribute regularly, but there are question marks behind his health over long term. And so, like Kasey said, that's the question for him now: is can he string together a season, and not only because he's also a U.S. national team's bench player. Not only for his club, but for his country as well. Can he stay healthy and contribute on both ends? That would make a Frank Lampard happy, and I know that would make a Greg Berhalter happy as well.
More positive news then from a US perspective. Josh Sargent getting his first goal of the Bundesliga season. And Kasey, what I liked about this is that he had time to think about it and didn't panic.
No, it was a very composed finish, and he timed his run perfectly well, which is always important, and created some separation. And then you're right. You see so many times when you hear about a young striker and, he had to think about it too much and therefore that put him off. No, Josh did really well with the finish. And for a player that had been in a goal-scoring drought, now granted he's in a side that he's not getting tons of chances, but still, when you have an opportunity like that to bury it, to get a point out of the match, and obviously Werder Bremen are looking much more comfortable this season in a upper mid-table, than they were in that really, really difficult dogfight at the bottom of the table last year, where they stayed in the Bundesliga by the skin of their teeth. And the more consistent Josh can get, just the better his career, the better it will be for Werder Bremen, and then the better it'll be for that U.S. national team that is so desperately looking, for that striker to take over from Jozy Altidore.
Can he become that number 9, Steve?
I believe he can. I think Josh has consistently gotten better, which is a great sign. And here in Germany, he has won the trust of not only his coach, but also his teammates and the general media. And I think in any situation where Josh is maybe in a drought, he will now get the benefit of the doubt. And Kasey can attest to this. Getting the benefit of the doubt in Germany as an American, or in Europe for that matter, is not an easy task. And what I have seen in Josh over the past couple of years is a steady increase in his development. And I think that is something that he can continue on, not only here in Bremen, but also in the U.S. men's national team. And this will, in my opinion, he will be the guy to replace Jozy Altidore.
Kasey, just on that goal, we heard commentators talking about him giving the goalkeeper the eyes. Is that really a thing?
Not really. Simply because I'm so concentrated on what the ball's doing, I can't really look at somebody's eyes. I mean, I'll look at his body movement. I think if you're, and if he kind of opens his body up and then is able to put the ball in a different direction, that's more so I think, than his eyes. But I understand the reference, but it's more of a whole body shape than I'm not focusing on the striker's eyes. I'm kind of have to keep my eye on the ball a little bit at that stage.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.